Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Wires Media Podcast. And today, another interview, 3 in a row. But this time, it is General Manager Logan Boggs. Logan, how are you today?
I'm great, man. How are you?
I'm doing all right. But before we get started, if you guys haven't seen the other two interviews, I did one with Ian Stacks, and I did one with the Dark Wolf, Logan Price. So go check those ones out. Um, I just have to thank everybody who watches these, honestly. And I got to thank my guest today, Logan Boggs, for coming on the show. So, Logan, you're a wrestling fan. Um, Tell me, I asked everybody I interview the same questions. Um, when was the first time you kind of started watching wrestling? And I don't think have you wrestled in DSW before you guys
I had a match on TBW.
on TBW?
Yeah,
Oh,
against
against
Can't
who?
Have It.
Can Havoc. Oh wow. All right.
I won. There may not have been an interference, but I did go over in the end. So
Hey, that's all that matters. As long as you get,
exactly,
as long as
exactly.
you're not the one looking up at the lights at the end of the night, that's all that matters.
Yep. So I was a sophomore in high school. This was the year before we started DSW,
Okay.
and every time there would be a pay per view, we'd go over to Tyler Frank's house. I can't. What name did he go by on this at CW? It was
Oh, geez, I don't know.
It was Tyler something.
Hmm.
I don't know, but he would always invite a bunch of people over to his house, and they would watch pay per view. They'd place bets on it. Everybody would fill out a match card before the show, put $5 in. Whoever got the most right would get the pot or whatever. And they invited me over to one of those. I think that was in I want to say June or July, going into maybe May at the end of my freshman year, somewhere in there around summer. And I went to it, and just good memories from it. Just my first time really watching wrestling. Just being with all my friends and just really getting into it and getting excited. And yeah, that was my first really wrestling experience. And just every month after that, I started watching Monday Night Raw and SmackDown, stuff like that, and every month, that's what we do for I guess about 3 years there. So yeah.
Wow. All right. Um. So kind of tell me what kind of how you guys made DSW, kind of like how you came up with wanting to do the backyard wrestling stuff.
Okay, so I remember, I guess it was my sophomore year, year before we started, because we started my junior year. Um, Tyler and Hunter, it was something that Tyler, Hunter, and Garrett would always talk about, but I thought it was just like one big like kind of joke thing. I didn't even know that this was like a thing, that there was like a backyard wrestling community that people would do that and stuff. And they would always, talk about it and stuff, and they would always be like, "Yeah, you're gonna be the GM. You're gonna be the GM." And I was like, okay. And next thing I know, right, getting close, right at the beginning of my junior year, I guess. And they come up to me, they're like, "Hey, you got to go to Sam's house this weekend. We're filming DSW." And I barely know anything about what's going on. I think this whole thing's just, I'm like, "We're filming what?" And they said, "DSW, man." And I'm like, like what the heck is that? And they're trying to explain it to me, and I was like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. They're like, "Logan, please, man, you have to. Like, we need you for it. We need you for it. You got to do it." And I was like to me at the time, not knowing that this was something that was like an actual thing, I was like, "Man,
Right.
this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. What is this, And but finally, they convinced me to do it. I showed up. Yeah, that's pretty much what happened.
All right. So throughout this whole time, that they're telling you, hey, we're gonna do this thing called DSW. Are you thinking you're gonna be a wrestler? No,
I'm thinking,
just a GM.
I'm thinking, I'm like, yeah, like the first 3 or 4 times I mentioned it, I was like, didn't even know what they're talking about. I was like,
Yeah, yeah,
you know,
just
and then it gets closer, and I'm like, DS what? You know, and they're like, down south wrestling, like, we're gonna wrestle, we're gonna be like, and I remember like they would always talk about like when they were kids, and they would like film like them in the living room or whatever. And they're like, yeah, it's like that, only like way better. And like, obviously, I think like it's just a joke, you know. And then like they're like, yeah, it's like you know, and they're trying to explain it to me like, you know, like WWE, like we watched, and I was like, yeah, and they're like, we're gonna do all of that, like with storylines and everything, in the backyard, and I was like, all right, you know, let's do it, and that's why I kind of gotta. Once they put it to me in those terms, I was like, okay, I get what we're doing here, and but still, even then, I thought it was not something that serious, but it was.
yeah. Uh, so were you involved like heavily in storylines? Like I came in way late to the DSW stuff, like right before you guys went to TBW. Um, did were you involved heavily in like making the storylines or like involved in the storylines?
Yeah, so it was pretty much, you know, obviously it was like Hunter, Tyler, Garrett, really, Sam a little bit. They were really just kind of coming in on saying, this is what we're going to do, this is how we're going to do it, these are going to be the matches, these are going to be who goes over, you know, these are the plans. And, you know, really, most of the time I would just show up and they just kind of run it. There would be a lot of times where I would, you know, we'd be at school or something. I'd be like, guys, last night I had this idea or whatever, and I'd pitch it to them. And, you know, most of the time they would be like, yeah, like, well, that's good. You know, we'll write that in. So a little bit here and there for like the big picture. But for me, um, personally, I would show up and then they would be like, this is what we have planned for you. They would just give me like a rough outline of it. And then they would say, but you know, you do you, you know, you're good on the mic. You're good at coming up with stuff. And I would say 95+% of everything that I ever did on DSW or TVW was just straight, just improv on the fly. Like they would just get the cameras going and they'd always tell me, you got free reign to just say and do whatever you want to, but just get the point across. They would just give me the general point. So
All right, that's cool. That's actually gonna be my next question. So good, you answered it. That's awesome. Um, so tell me how you kind of met the TBW guys. Y'all go to school together?
no, so I went to school at Woodville High School. That's in Alabama. I transferred there my freshman year, and that's when I became friends with all of these guys. So with the TBW guys, they're in Woodstock, Georgia,
Right.
right? So it's about roughly 3 hours from where we live,
Okay.
and I don't really know. That was actually something that was just kind of thrown at me because the whole time, and I remember it used to frustrate me a little bit. A lot of times I'd definitely be out of the loop on some kind of major stuff, and I'd just be like, last minute, they're like, oh, yeah, and that would kind of frustrate me. And, but I'm assuming our guys, not their guys through just YouTube, I
Okay.
guess, and kind of started talking, spitballing, and just one thing led to another. And the next thing I'm told, we're ending DSW, and I was like, what? But we're going over here, and then we started traveling over there to film, and we would try to get like 7 or 8 episodes filmed so we could wait a couple months
Okay.
because of the drive and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I remember the first time I met them, because Hunter and Tyler started working for New South, local indie wrestling company,
Yeah.
and they started getting on there and stuff, and they're just kind of being thrown in here and there to do some stuff like they were being security or whatever, and then it kind of got where they're trying to get involved in the show and stuff while they're training, of course, because this is when it's when everybody's first starting to be like, yeah, I think this is something we could actually like do, outside of just having fun in the backyard.
Right.
And John, Tyler, and Dak came down to one in December my senior year, so about 2 years ago.
Mm.
And I met them, and within 15 minutes of meeting them, I could already tell, I would be really close friends with these guys. I mean, it was just like I had known them my whole life, so that was awesome. And still to this day, really good friends with them. Don't talk to them as much as I wish I could,
Yeah.
but yeah.
All right, that's cool. Um, so recently, I mentioned this in the Logan Price thing, and in his interview, but so recently you were on my channel on YouTube on the All Star Wrestling Quiz. Uh, kind of tell me what you think about that, because I know Aaron was talking to you about it. And that's how he gave me your email. That's how I say you this.
Yeah.
Kind of just like just kind of think you're just like tell me what you were thinking during that.
So I remember Aaron was messaging me about it, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't really think like a whole lot. I was like, oh, it's just kind of like a little fun thing. And I get in there, it's like live
Yeah.
recording. I was like, all right, I was just trying to pull up, as a joke because, honestly, at the end of the day, like I said, for people who watch that, and I told y'all, I'm not huge into wrestling. I'm a fan, but I don't really watch it. I don't know a whole lot about it,
Right.
because really I wasn't really into it at all until the whole DSW thing and stuff like right before that. And after that ended, I didn't really, with having a busy schedule and stuff. I was like, just something in my past really. So I was like, obviously, it's kind of getting hammered, man. I didn't really know all the answers, but I was able to get a couple right. So I mean, it was definitely fun. It was something really cool that I think, especially I know I'll be telling some people, about stuff like that because I know some guys that would like really, really like that. So yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Uh, so I have to ask you, would you want to come back on the wrestling quiz?
Oh yeah, for
Yeah.
sure, for
Well,
sure.
you gotta.
Not saying I'll do any better, but
I mean, you never know. You never know.
hey, I'm there to learn. I'm not there to win.
Right. Yeah. No, I get it. I get it. Uh. All right. Well, so you know that Logan and Aaron were kind of having a back and forth on that show.
Yeah.
Uh, if you watch the interview, definitely wait till the end or like skip to the end. Definitely watch Logan's promo we cut on Aaron. It was
Oh, I
great.
have to watch that. I'll
Oh, it
have
was
to
so
watch that.
great. Um, but I have to ask you, because I want to know, would you ever get back? Would you ever want to be a GM of a backyard wrestling federation again?
Man, this is something that I've put a lot of thought into.
Yeah.
You know, and especially because I missed it a lot. I miss having that um, freedom of expression. Being able to just make up stuff and play a character, that kind of escape um, from reality, and then also just spending time with my friends and stuff, and just
Yeah.
having fun doing what we like to do. And I find myself thinking about it a lot, thinking about those times, watching back DSW, TBW, and because towards the end of my senior year of high school, whenever we were kind of walking away from it or whatever, because you know all these guys that took it seriously over the years, they're getting trained, they're going pro, they're getting paid to do it now, and they're like, we can't be in the backyard, when we're trying to, we don't have time for it too, you know.
Yeah.
And it was hard for me to let it go, and a lot of them, they all my close friends are like, Logan, man, like you need to try to get on somewhere, like you need to come with us, because like definitely they can use you to be like, somebody's manager you can start with because you're good on the mic and work your way up, and you could maybe be a GM somewhere at
Yeah.
a small promotion. I've thought a lot about that because I mean I love doing it, but it's just hard with the schedule that I have with college and
Yeah.
football and stuff like that. If I were to had the time for it, absolutely, I would love to, just because that's just something I really enjoy doing. But as of right now, that's really the only reason I'm not, is just because of where I'm at now in life, my schedule,
Yeah.
or stuff. And at the end of the day, really, me going to college and stuff like that, not only because of TBW, us stopping that, but that's really the reason why I had to just take a step back from the community and stuff.
Yeah.
But definitely something I'm in the future 100% open to.
All right. Well, it's funny because me and you kind of had the same journey with being a wrestling fan. I was not a wrestling fan until I was 17.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I did not like wrestling. I actually kind of despised it for a while when I was like a super young kid, and I just didn't care about it. But then my dad went down to one of his friend's house. I believe he lives in Houghton Lake or something like that. Something uh, downstate. And he comes back, and his friend watches it. So he came back, and he's watching it on the TV. And so me and my mom were sitting there, we're just kind of making fun of it because we're like, oh, whatever, wrestling. But then we really got into it, and the first pay per view we bought was Royal Rumble 2015. So yeah, it was just I just dived head first, and
Yep.
it's been great, doing all the TCPW stuff, now doing the Mayhem stuff. Um, I'm a wrestler, but I hate doing wrestling. I actually like doing what you did. I like the GM
Yeah.
stuff. I like the storyline stuff behind the scenes. I like all that kind of stuff. I don't like being a wrestler. It's just not something I've always wanted to do. Um,
Yeah, because for me, I was like, I want to be, if I was to ever like try to go somewhere with this and do it, at somewhere that's professional, that I'm gonna be getting paid to do it. Where we're having a crowd, we're in a building in a real ring. Um, I always, when I thought about something like that, I wanted to be more of like like a Shane McMahon, like I'm on the mic, but every once in a while, I'll have a match just because,
yeah,
So I wanted to be trained well enough and know enough to be able to do that. But that's not something that's just for me. Like I wake up in the morning, like, dude, I want to have a match. Like I want to wrestle. I try to get some work
right,
in the ring, but to know enough to be able to do it just for fun and once in a
yeah,
while.
yeah. Well, that's kind of the bad part for like you know I'm comparing us, but we're obviously different in different ways. But people like us who don't like to do a lot of the in ring stuff. Um, I'm obviously more opposed than you are. But I would rather be on a mic and do I'd love to be a general manager of some show way down the line or whatever. But the bad part about it is you have to get trained just to be in the ring.
Yeah.
It's like I don't want to take a bump. I don't want to do it. I just want to talk. Like that's all I want to do. And like I get it, but also I don't get it. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
like I don't want to wrestle. I just want to stay here and talk some shit and leave. Get
Yup.
paid and leave.
That's
That's all I
exactly
want
that's exactly how I
to
am. But I mean, kudos to the guys that you know, the guys that do, man.
do. Yeah.
Especially when you're, you know, a lot of my really close friends are just grinding out in indie wrestling right now, like full time. Like that's their job. Like
Right.
that's what they're doing to make a living. And I mean, it's it's not obviously indie wrestling. It's not the greatest pay in the world. You're not making money like you're on WWE or AEW, but
Yeah.
one, respect them because they are going out and doing what they love to do every single day and getting paid for it. And two, like you just gotta respect the grind. Like they're trying to make it big,
Yeah.
And respect to them for that. But
Yeah. 100%.
definitely not something I could do for sure.
Um. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something else, and I can't remember. Uh, yeah, no, 100%. Obviously, respect all the people out there that are trying to be pro wrestler, that are working so much on the small indie promotions, making $50 a night or $25 a night or whatever. Um, but for every I don't know 100 or so wrestlers, there's people like you and me who just want to be a manager, just want to talk
Yep.
shit. Like, I want to get in your face, but I don't want to fight you. Like,
Exactly.
I just want to talk shit to your face. So I'm gonna leave. Like that's all I want to do.
I mean, just to be able to, for me personally, just to get on the mic and just be able to entertain people, what I mean? And just have the creative freedom, to just get out there, say what I want when I want, maybe make somebody laugh.
Yeah.
That's just what it was all about to me, really, at the end of the day, that and just spending time with my friends.
Yeah.
I mean, we were able to grow a small platform. We had a few videos that got a fair amount of views, but at the end of the day, if we were doing it and it was getting one view a week every week, and it was me, and I mean, just to have that time, to have that fun, and then be able to go back and watch it and remember. So.
That's I'm not trying to diss wrestlers, obviously, because 100% respect to them. But that's kind of the bad thing about being a GM in a wrestler's world, because wrestlers want all the attention, and they want all of that, which I get, I understand it. But so like on the videos that I make, it's not all wrestling or anything. But even if I just get like a couple views, it's like that's all I wanted. I don't really care about anything else. At least a couple people watched it. Like it's just that's just I feel like that's just how managers are really.
Yeah.
There's like, well, as long as you're looking at it, I don't really care.
Because I know for me, it was like, I mean, it would make my day whenever. Oh, hold on, I'm about to sneeze. Okay. It would make my day when, we would post a video and I would see a comment about me, whether it was somebody that's like, oh man, can't believe GM Boggs, hate GM Boggs, that indicate, or if it was like, man, glad GM Boggs is making this move, this and that. I mean, that's just awesome to me. And the coolest part, man, is like, I mean, obviously, it's not like I'm just going out in public. Like, oh, dude, are you GM Boggs? I mean, like, people would like, people that I don't really know that were from my area that would see it to their friends or whatever. Like, I'd be out like at a sporting event or something. And just like, oh, bro, GM Boggs,
Yeah.
And there for a while, this was always the coolest part for me. There for a while, towards the end of my junior year, the beginning of my senior year, probably once a week for a while, and then about once every 2 weeks, I would have some like just random person DM me on Instagram. Don't know how they find that. Be like, "Are you GM Boggs from DSW? Are you GM Boggs? What you doing?" I'd be like, "Yeah, dude." Yeah, I'd talk to. That was just the coolest thing in the world for me.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's pretty cool. Man, thank you so much for doing this, man. Really.
of
Uh,
course.
it's just funny to me because I don't think of myself as an interviewer or anything. Like I have a few questions I just ask everybody, and then I don't know, we'll talk about whatever.
Yeah.
Uh, but honestly, I love doing this kind of stuff.
Yeah, me too, for sure.
Yeah, and yeah. So just thank you so much for doing this.
Of course, yeah.
I hope to get you on more than just this, maybe another quiz or whatever. Um, everyone who's wondering, if you didn't watch the Logan Price interview, Tuesday, 6 o'clock Eastern Time, All Star Wrestling Quiz number 2 will be live. And if you're available at that time,
If I'm available that time, I'm definitely gonna pull through for sure.
awesome.
Um, I will tell you this. This is something that's crazy. I almost didn't make it past like the 5th or 6th episode of DSW,
Oh yeah.
and it's crazy to think because okay, so basically what happened is I showed up to film the first episode. I had briefcase or whatever. Well, yeah, this and that, whatever. And then there for a while, I just wasn't doing anything. Like they would want me to show up, and I'd go there and I'd sit for hours. I just wouldn't do anything. I'd just be sitting there and I'd be like, oh, we don't really have anything for this episode, or there's nothing really to announce. And it's just crazy to think how different my life would be, because I never would have met the TVW boys. Like, just my life would be so different. But
Yeah.
I just got to the point, probably around, like, I guess episode 6, 7, 8, somewhere in there. I was like, this is just a waste of my time.
Right.
And I pulled them aside and I was like, guys, look, I'm going to be honest with you, like, this is fun or whatever, but I'm not wrestling, obviously. And I was like, and y'all aren't really writing anything in for me. Y'all aren't really giving me anything. And, like, I'm just kind of showing up for nothing or whatever. And that's when they were like, no, you know what? You're right. We're sorry. That's not how we weren't trying to make it that way, but I can see how you feel that way. I was like, yeah, I mean, I know it's not like intentional. And that's when they were like, you know what? We're about to start writing stuff in for you. And that's when they kind of were just like, any idea that you have, pitch it to us, And then like, they're like, you got freedom, say, do whatever you want to, make it funny, that. Because before that they're like, you're going to come out, this is what you're going to say. You're going to say this is how you're going to deliver it. And after that, they're just like, just do it however you want to do it,
Yeah.
And that's what ended up working best, anyways. But yeah, so I almost was not really part of this at all.
I don't remember what episode it was, but I remember. I believe I was talking to Dak, and he was talking about you guys. And he's like, "Hey, go watch this episode." And the first thing that comes up is you talking. I'm like, this. I was just like watching. I'm like, this is like the greatest thing ever. I'm like, this is awesome. I just watched your part. I'm like, nothing can top that now. The beginning of the episode, it peaked. That's it. It's over. I'm like, I can't watch it now.
Appreciate that. Because it was like, I mean, the best part about it for me is that, like, there's so many times where we had to, like, stop recording and start over, because whoever I was talking to in the clip, like, if it wasn't just me, they come up having absolutely no idea what I was about to say. Like, I would sit there and think about it a little bit. I mean, I'd just freeball something, but a lot of I'd think about it. I was like, what's just the dumbest thing I can say to just catch somebody off guard? And they'd come, and I'd just say, and we'd all just bust out laughing and have to restart. And the funniest part to me is just like going back really and just like we would do it 3 or 4 times just from laughing. And there's one where like it's just a slight laughter, and it would just be like, we're running out of time. Fine, that's good. And just going back and just watching, just trying not to hold it in with some of the stuff that I would say, and just I would really catch people off guard. I would bring up like inside jokes that we have like outside of wrestling and stuff like
Right.
at school, and I would try to like throw that in nonchalantly, like like I remember probably this is one of the best ones. It's on it was the first episode of TBW whenever we went over there. And I don't know, you may remember it, you may not. Whoever's watching may remember, may not. But after Sam has his match, I think he had a match against Damien or Isaiah maybe, and he comes back and he's like, I think I deserve this shot or whatever. And I was like, I would give you the shot, but my friend Travis told me. And like immediately, like, he just starts trying not to let everybody just stand behind, just holding it in. And I was like, yeah, he said, you blew up Tracy's toilet and he had to clean out. Just like, anybody normal sitting there, like, what the heck? Like, what is he talking about? But it was like 2 years before that. We're all at Tyler's house, right? And Sam, if you're watching this, I'm sorry, I gotta call you out like this, but it's just for the boys, man. But he goes to use the restroom at Tyler's house, and like I don't just like really clogged it up bad, and he had to leave, and instead of like saying anything, he just left. So then Tyler's dad's friend Travis goes in there, and he's like, "Oh, you know what the heck?" So he's like having to clean it out with the cups, and that's when I was like making reference to that. I mean, yeah, God doesn't say that. I know I had no clue what he said. I was like, "Yeah, I would give you the match, but my best friend Travis had to clean up your mess with the cups, And I don't know, just stuff like that, like going back, stuff that I know That's just off all stuff, and then thinking like, nobody else really gets that. That's something else I like to do, or I used to like to do too. So
I actually think I do remember that because I thought, wow, this is really funny.
yeah, and I mean now like go back and watch it if you have access. Go back and watch it now after knowing like the story and like why I'm talking about that, and it just but. And I just go back and I see so many times. I would have to play it off because I would be just trying so hard on what I'd just have to play it off like I'm crying. If it's something like a serious, excuse me, like serious topic or something. And like I remember I was watching a couple episodes of DSW a few weeks ago, and I was just I was sitting there like I'm trying to make a joke or whatever, but it's just I had a hard time laughing. I go like that, but I mean, really, I'm just laughing. That was, I mean, it's obvious that I'm just laughing, but just, I don't know, just stuff like that. I just really miss, you know, those days and just being able to do stuff like that. And I mean, really, at the end of the day, it comes down to like, I just miss my friends. We've everybody's, we're all at that age in life now where you're growing up. People are off, people have moved off. We're all on different schedules, and it's just that was something that just everybody came together, and now it's just like it's so hard to hang out with more than like one, maybe two of your
Yeah.
of your buddies like that, and
Yeah.
I hate that, but that's just life.
Yeah, I get that. One of my best friends since third grade, um, he went into the military a few years ago, and he got married, and his whole life was moving on. And I'm like trying to like hit him up every now and then. I'm like, hey, just trying to talk to him, and it's just doesn't work out because he has a whole different life now. I'm like, oh man, like
Yeah.
this sucks, man. Like, right? No, I get it, Um, man, thank you. Do you want to plug any social media?
Sure, why not? Um, I'll plug my Instagram. Instagram, uh, Bogan underscore laws. It's just Logan Boggs with the B and the L switch underscore in between. That's my Instagram. I will plug that. But yeah.
Right. Um,
Also, I have to put this on. It's not a it's not GM Boggs without the RPM Pools hat.
hey man,
Um,
gotta gotta rep
yes,
anyway.
sir.
You know,
Hey, if you're seeing this and you're not subscribed already, subscribe, man. You
hundred
already
percent.
know the deal. This
Uh,
man puts out great content consistently. Got to
thank
be on it. Got to be on it.
yeah. Yeah. So Bogan underscore logs on Instagram, man. Definitely subscribe to my channel, Jerry Weathers Official. You're watching it. You're on it. Um, thank you so much, Logan. This was awesome, man.
Of course, dude. And honestly, I know a lot of guys, man, that I was close with back in the day. They would love to like get on. Well, obviously, I said get on like the quiz and stuff, but just stuff like this, like the interviews. Like I know a lot of guys would love to do one.
Yeah.
So I'll definitely be like sharing this and be like, hey, and I can, because I mean this stuff, like, I mean this is me personally. This is the content I like to see.
Yeah.
Stuff like this.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, I mean, I thank you for having me, man.
Hey,
So
no problem, man. Anytime on anything, man. 100%. Just so you know, though, and this is me officially asking you because it's recorded and I can look back at it and I won't feel like I'm going insane. Um, so I'm doing a history of wrestling series right now. I'm working on it. Who is your favorite 80s or 90s wrestler of all time?
whew, good question. Good
Like
question.
Hulk Hogan era wrestlers.
Gotta
Hulk
be,
Hogan.
gotta be, gotta be.
Well,
I
look,
don't know.
man.
I don't really know if I have one. I mean, Hulk Hogan's definitely up there, but I don't know, man. I know, like now, yeah, that's pretty big on the Rock. Um, Steve Austin, got to. I don't know. Definitely, those are probably my top three, though, for sure.
Well, eventually I'm gonna have to get into talking about single wrestlers' careers. I have 2 people already up for 2 different episodes. One for Macho Man, one for Taker. I'm writing the scripts for both. If you want me to write a script for you to record for me about Hulk Hogan or whatever, you can do all 3. I don't give a shit. Um, just hit me up, bro, and I'll write it
Yeah,
for you.
I'm down for sure.
Yeah,
I got you. But I mean, real, you have no idea how much this means to me because just having the chance, like, I mean, even though this is kind of more of a Logan Boggs behind the scenes thing, but just to be GM Boggs for just an hour, like, because it's just something I never get to do that anymore.
yeah, no, I get it. I get it. All right, man. Well, thank you so much. This will be posted. I don't know. It's already the 15th, so later today probably.
All right,
Uh,
sounds good.
and yeah, so Bogan underscore logs. I can't talk. It's past fucking midnight. Um, go follow him. He's a cool dude. I like him, so you like him too. And he does pee in pools.
I
I,
do, I do.
I can attest to that.
But no matter how many times I say that, I would never actually do that. But yes, I do pee in
but
pools.
definitely gonna have to have you guys come up here, up to Michigan one day. We can all
Bro,
just hang out.
for sure, I would love to do that sometime.
Awesome. Record some content, man.
Yes, 100% down.
All right, man. Hey, seriously though, I really appreciate it. I don't know. I don't pray. I don't know why I did that. Uh, if I could shake your hand right now, I would.
We'll do a fist bump.
Too sweet.
Oh yeah, too
Too
sweet,
sweet.
too sweet.
All right, man. Get out of here. We're go to bed. I'll see you later.
All right, see you, man.